I call to order this regular meeting of the Navasota Planning and Zoning Commission for March 28, 2024.
Oh, but look, oh, there's a pen, and look at here, dark
You
chocolate.
need a pen, Doc?
I got one now.
Okay. Since we're running a little bit late, we're going to just move right on to item number 4. Discussion and consideration and possible action on a preliminary site plan submitted to the City of Navasota by Easterly Schneider and Associates, Inc. for the property located at 700 North LaSalle, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas, 77868. The preliminary site plan application requests to allow for the development of an O'Reilly store, a retail sales use, a permitted use listed under Article 11B1 General Business District. The property affected is legally described as H in TC Block 9, lots 1 through 5, and half of Fraser Street.
Mr. Chairman, Planning and Zoning Commission, good evening. Just to give you a brief background of the project, as you described, there is a new proposed O'Reilly standalone store at 700 North LaSalle. City staff have reviewed the site plan in accordance with zoning and applicable development standards, and the final site plan is attached for your consideration. We're really excited about this project. It's in one of our primary corridors, and it's going to do some really nice facelift for that area, especially for that existing building. So Paul Engel is here with the engineering firm if y'all have any questions. And yeah, I'll open it up.
It looks nice. How much bigger will the facility be for the O'Reilly?
Yep, Paul, make sure you say your name and
Yeah,
address.
sure. Paul Engel with OWN Inc. We're the civil engineers on the project, 3213 Southwest Bypass, Springfield, Missouri. Just around the corner. This will be a 7,400 square foot building. I apologize, I don't know the size of the one in the existing strip mall, but I'm confident it'll be bigger and much nicer to look at.
Gosh, how did you get involved all the way down here?
That's a long discussion. Lupe could fill you in. We had a little conversation already.
That's pretty cool.
So we'll have a entrance on Dixon and LaSalle?
Yes, sir. And we actually have already received our tech stop permit. We received that yesterday and it's been signed.
Good.
Well, I actually loaded up the tractor today on that lot. So, yeah, anything y'all can do to help with that, that's going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be nice and clean. And O'Reilly's a very low impact business. They keep things pretty clean and tidy, so.
Landscape plans, got all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be putting a forest in there.
Yeah, it's looking really, it looks pretty.
Going to make Javier have to plant some stuff.
Is that typical of an O'Reilly build to come back and put that many trees and stuff in?
I think we're meeting city regulations,
Yeah.
honestly. So you can
Yep.
thank your planning department for that.
Who wrote that landscape ordinance?
Oof, many years ago.
The master gardener.
Who did all that work out there the other day?
Looks good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
doesn't
Master Gardener.
it? You bet. A lot of these reports were way over my head. But it's nice to see them.
Is there a picture of the external facade, like that'll face LaSalle?
Yeah.
I mean, this packet's pretty big. I'm just,
Yeah, it's
I
at,
couldn't get it to download on my little computer.
yeah, it's at the tail end of that section. building permit, just in case.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Trucks can get in and out, like from which side would they come and where would be the loading?
So if you look at that site plan, there's a dealer door, and it's not up there yet, but I don't know if you have it on your packet. If you don't, I don't have a copy of the elevations with me,
Okay.
unfortunately, but I think Lupe's bringing it up. But if you look at your site plan, which is called C 2.1,
Okay.
there's a delivery door on the side towards Dixon. So
Good.
they'll either roll in off of the highway and through and then drop off and go out the other drive.
Are they full-size trucks?
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty tough street, Dixon, for a big truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you'll notice, there's some striping in there. That's the fire department striping. So the fire department, which their equipment's much heavier than ours,
Oh, I see what you're looking at now.
utilizes
Okay.
the same
Yeah, I
points
thought that was
too.
such a cool plan, but I didn't look at the
So
dock.
if they're doing it,
Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So it's not visible from Washington.
And there's the elevations on the big screen.
And it's still written in small print.
Let me zoom in a little more.
Okay. That's better. To me, it's nice to know that O'Reilly is doing well and can build a new building. It feels good.
keep your cars and keep maintaining them. That's all we
Yeah,
ask.
there, yeah.
Don't buy electric.
Right to repair.
Mhm.
So, the question kind of goes to you, Paul, but it also goes to our city people. The pond drains to the corner of Dixon and the street that runs south. That's a really small concrete pipe that goes under that street. And if you stop and look at it, the elevation of the ditch is actually higher than the concrete pipe at this point in time. So I don't know how much work, I understand that, O'Reilly will develop their detent pond and they'll put their effluent drain out and that's where their work is going to stop. But there isn't much of a ditch going east to west at all. So it's all going to hit that corner and it's all going to go under and it's not a lot of drop going down south and that really is going to need some work.
Yeah.
I know we got plenty of ditches that need work.
And if I could speak to that for a
Certainly.
moment. So I walked that today.
Yeah.
And I walked it all the way down towards Cedar Creek.
Uh-huh.
And so you're right, it does go south. There's a pipe under there.
Yeah.
And then
But you know what I mean? The pipe comes out like this and then
Yeah, yeah.
and there's a hollow from the way it
Yeah.
fills and then it floods up before it ever starts moving again. And
So in anticipation of that, we actually oversized our basin. We
Mm-hmm.
had some extra grass area, and we are restricting it even less than the existing discharge rates by a good 25 to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So we are holding more to not put too much into the system in anticipation of the downstream system.
what's the diameter of the effluent?
So the pipe underneath the road, I believe, is a 15-inch.
Okay.
We have
And your discharge line is,
we have an open weir.
oh, okay.
But we have a very large basin.
Okay.
And we even have 1.5 feet plus a freeboard for storm events larger than 100. Because we know global change, right? There's
Right.
more rain than normal. So
Yeah.
we've made this probably twice larger than we needed to in anticipation of the downstream system if it
And you-
never gets updated.
And you're not coming out through a pipe, you're coming out through a weir,
Yeah.
an open
An open
flow.
weir, yeah.
Okay,
And that spreads it out, so.
yeah.
But, and then you can see it's pulled back from a little bit from the property. We added some riprap to kind of even disperse the flows as it crosses the property line. And so, yeah, we were very aware of what's
Okay.
going on out there, so we utilized all the area O'Reilly left us. Don't tell them.
Could have put 3 more parking spaces in there.
And Mr. Wisner, that is one thing that came up during plan review, and that's noted with our public works team. that when that project does kick off, they're gonna be looking at that pipe and maybe partnering with the contractor if they're already moving dirt
Okay.
to get that, to assess the condition of that culvert. That's
Yeah,
what
and we
you-
added a note on there that if it's determined by city that the culvert needs to be repaired,
Yeah, it
fixed,
could be
replaced,
cracked for all we know. It's
it's part of
concrete,
the
isn't it?
contract
Yeah.
to do that work
Okay.
by O'Reilly.
Excellent, thank you.
No, my pleasure. And I totally understand, drainage is a concern everywhere.
And there was several pages on the lighting.
Yes.
That's all timed lighting? Is that the way it's written?
So there's lights only lights we have are for our front parking area and our side parking area. And those are the downcast LED.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a page that shows like the light fall off showing that it doesn't, I don't know if you're familiar
Bother
with
the neighbors?
photometrics.
Yeah,
That shows that at the property lines, we meet the zero requirements.
okay.
And it's just during the nighttime, but like I said, it's downcast. We don't like shining lights out. We do it to shine down on the parking lot for security for our customers. We don't have anything on the back of the building. We don't have anything on the north side shining towards neighbors. There's also no egress points back there.
That was what I was gonna say. You can't get around the building, right? Or at least with the
You
vehicle.
can't go out the back,
Yeah.
no, yeah. We like to be, O'Reilly's is, its intention is to serve residents. And so we like to fit into a neighborhood and be a quiet neighbor.
Will it have the same sort of exterior as O'Reilly's in College Station and O'Reilly's in other places, so it'll look pretty much the same?
So this is a block unit building.
Okay.
I apologize, I can't remember what those ones are. I don't know.
Okay.
Are they block or brick or, I don't know.
I think it's a combination. Oh, no, it might be block, actually.
It's not a metal building, which may be what
No,
you
it's
think.
not metal.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, they're
block.
not metal that
Yeah,
I
yeah, this one's
remember.
nice
Yeah.
block also. And it'll look good, it'll have two-tone colors and stuff.
Okay.
One thing that was added specific to Navasota is an awning along the front
okay.
entrance. That's in our
Nice.
zoning ordinance to provide shade on the western side for entrance. So that was an extra that came about during plan review.
They would regret not having that because it gets hot
Yeah.
with the glass. Yeah.
That's all.
I make a motion, we accept the change.
Yep. You wanna read that?
Yeah. I make a motion that we accept the preliminary site plan as permitted for Article 11B1, General Business District, the property described, legally described as H and CT Block 9, Lot 1 through 5, and half of Fraser Street.
We have a motion from Dr. Walla to approve the preliminary site plan that's presented.
Second?
Second from Commissioner Copeland. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion unanimously carries. So
Thank you for a very detailed
Yeah.
plan.
Thanks, Paul.
These were some of the
Thanks,
Sorry
most
about the wait.
detailed plans we've ever had, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were awesome plans, yeah.
Okay, to get to. That brings us to agenda item number 5, conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comments and testimony regarding a zoning change application submitted to the City of Navasota by PWP Land Company LLC for the property located in the A0055-0 D. Tyler Abstract, adjacent to State Highway 105. The zoning change application requests to change the zoning from AO Agricultural Open Space District to B1 General Business District. The property affected is legally described as A0055-0 D. Tyler, Tract 4-6, acres 7.251, R77990 on the map, located in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas, 77868. And we will open the public hearing at 6:26 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, Planning and Zoning Commission, as read, PWP Land Co. has submitted a zoning change application. Paul Hammock is here tonight representing that request. We continue to see rooftop development on that side of town, and of course that's going to spur commercial development. And so Paul is requesting to rezone frontage along 105 in front of all the rooftops going in to B1 general business, and that's really just going to open it up for a variety of business uses that'll complement that area. And if you'll have any questions, again, Paul is here to answer any questions.
Didn't we discuss that area? I know it wasn't annexed into the city yet, but because it was B1 along Fairway,
Yes.
that would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, didn't we talk about it also when they were talking about the development of those acreage for housing?
Yes, yeah, that's always been the plan, is to have some commercial frontage, and obviously that land was split and sold for residential, and that strip specifically was kept for commercial purposes. And so finally we're getting ready to, or after speaking with Paul, he's getting ready to sign and get all that rezoned.
Is there any business interested in it, like how many spots will be developed in that acreage there?
Paul, would you step to the podium, please?
In most general, it's about an acre pad site for a commercial retail, so, one could argue maybe 6 to 7 potentially.
We're working on that. We do have the TxDOT entrances permitted, and I actually went out to install them. And as I've spoken with Loopy,
So the
contractor had the ditch cut open and wouldn't let me put them in until
after this,
they fix that. And so we think they're moving along now. They've had some issues evidently on that.
so the entrance off of 105 is going to be very similar to what they have, I guess, over by Chick-fil-A, where it's going to be, and all that. Not Chick-fil-A, Chicken Express, where they have one entrance and it services all businesses from that
Well,
entrance and exit.
Part of this whole deal that I originally bought 43 acres from Mr. Hassel, and then my plan all along was to do commercial in the front and the residential in the back. So Paul drew all this up for me, and I think we're at 148 or so houses right now. I sold it to a guy that I was hoping would have got started a little bit sooner, because it benefits me, obviously. But with Loopy's, we're still moving forward. And so there's 2 entrances that I've been granted. And so, of course, TxDOT told me where we're going to put them. And so it won't just be one for the whole 7 acres. There's 2. And so one of those entrances is for sure, right now, the east entrance is for sure platted to be a through street. We originally had put both entrances as through streets, and that's still okay with me, but we're working with the other developer on that. So we know for sure that the eastern one is probably going to end up being a through street. But regardless, there'll be 2 entrances into that 7-acre property.
And then the entrance to the neighborhood behind it is going to be via that through street, or is that going to be from a different direction?
That's
Say-
correct, John. Yeah, it'll connect to that subdivision expansion.
The idea, if I guess it's Ecoview Drive, would go straight through.
Right.
And originally Birdie Court was going to go straight through, but we're still working on that one.
Okay.
So, but at a minimum, there'll definitely be 2 into the property for sure.
Any idea what sort of businesses or anything at this
We're
point?
trying to figure that out. I've been discussing that, started with Brad and Lupe, 3 years ago now, and we're trying our best to do a really nice commercial
Okay.
something out there, but what that is, I don't know if it's a strip center and a couple standalone places. We don't know yet.
Okay.
But I mean, Navasota fortunately has a lot of demand for a lot of things. And so
Care.
urgent care, a strip center with an urgent care, a cleaners, a daycare right there in front of all those homes, anything would be
That'd be awesome.
great, because Mr. Hassel's done a great job at developing all that. And if these guys behind me would get on progress and get going, then we'd have another 150 homes behind it. And that's a lot of brand new homes in front of the golf course to have a nice place out there.
Anything else? All right, thank you very much.
Oh.
We will close the public hearing at 6:32.
I just realized we had 3 Pauls in the room. Paul Angle,
Yeah.
Paul Hammock, and Paul Malik.
Ooh.
Paul 1, Paul 2, and Paul 3.
Yeah, they can decide which one's 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That brings us to agenda item number 6, consideration and possible action regarding a zoning change application submitted to the City of Navasota by PWP Land Company LLC for the property located in the A0055-0 D. Tyler Abstract adjacent to State Highway 105 West. The zoning change application requests to change the zoning from AO Agriculture Open Space District to B1 General Business District. The property affected is legally described as A0055-0 D. Tyler Tract 4-6, Acre 7.251, R77990, located in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868.
Motion we approve.
We have a motion from Dr. Waller to approve the zoning change. I don't know who said
No,
it first.
you do it
Second.
second.
A second from Commissioner Wisner. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear any opposition, so the motion carries. And that brings us to, I'll go through all my stack of double-sided paper here. Agenda item number 7, discussion, consideration, and possible action on a preliminary site plan application submitted by On Target Properties LLC for the expansion of the current warehouse use, a permitted use under the current B1 General Business District. This property is located at 1558 North LaSalle, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868. The property affected is legally described as A0002 D. Arnold, acres 1.391, 16, parcel 20-1. Do we have a representative here?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Planning and Zoning, Paul Malik and Jacob Malik are here representing this application. This is an expansion of the previously approved, site plan in 2020. There's one thing on here that's different from the previous site plan. There is a request for a fee in lieu of sidewalk construction. Previously, there was a site plan approved with sidewalks. However, during construction, it was determined that they were not feasible in that area. And so, with the expansion of the building, this is an additional request from the site plan is to approve the fee in lieu of, and that amount is in your staff report.
How are you, Paul?
Very well. Paul Malik, NBC Management.
So at the time that the construction was done initially and they determined they couldn't do the sidewalks?
Yeah, I think there was logistics with the fence and a few other things, the ditch, and so there'd been I guess a pause in between then and now with the
Okay.
second phase, and so
So the second phase was always planned?
I'm assuming so, but
Okay, so that's why the sidewalks we didn't discuss fee in lieu of until now.
right. Originally, the site plan for phase one included sidewalks.
Yes, I remember it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Paul, how's the expansion gonna affect the buildings that exist there now?
We're gonna tie on to the existing warehouse on the back and go to 15 feet short of the property line and then turn the corner. And then there's a single slope building that ties into the side of it to make that corner. And then there's a breezeway that separates the two buildings physically so that we remain under the square foot limit.
Mr. Malik, can you describe the way you're going to remove the existing detention pond that is under the loading dock ramp and move it to the other loading dock? It was my belief that the detention pond was under the ramp that acted as the
So
loading dock.
it is the sloped volume that creates the loading dock. And we're not removing the existing, we're just knocking down the wall and expanding it all the way to the end. So you can see up there where the,
Yeah, it's a flat view. I know you're removing the knocking the wall out there. Because right now, it's just the small section that's the existing dock. And that's the size of the detention pond, is that right?
that's correct.
And now you're going to not use that as the dock anymore.
No,
and
continue to use it as a dock,
for the old building.
correct.
And then you're utilizing the new dock
For the new building,
for the new building.
right.
So the egress line is going out that way, and your flow slope is this way. So I guess when I think of loading dock, I think of something that's
No, it's actually going down
It
into the
goes
ground.
down.
Down into the ground.
so the elevation of the dock entrance into the building is below grade.
No, the doors that the trucks back into are at grade, but the truck has to
The
back
truck
down
drops.
4 feet
Okay.
so that the bed of the truck is level
Okay.
with the
So you've got a hollow in front of the building.
Correct.
And that's what's filling with water.
Correct.
And you've got a 3.5 foot limit on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you know how that detention pond worked that Monday in January when we had that flash flood?
We had no issues with it.
Well, we had a huge issue with the street there.
Well, that's because the TxDOT told me to put.
I know, but I mean, so that, when it goes out the back, does it just go out into a field there, or does it go to a ditch that then goes to another ditch?
No, it just goes out into a field.
It just goes out into the field. So, does anybody know how full that existing loading dock detention pond got when we had that rain?
It didn't get 100% full, no, sir.
Well, I was just thinking about a truck being in there. I mean, you said that,
Well, the truck, the only volume the truck takes up of the volume of water is the volume of the tires and the axles. The truck itself is never in the body, or the bed of the truck never makes it to the water level.
what's the, so there's two loading doors on that dock there?
Correct.
Okay, and you're gonna back a truck down a slope to where the bed of the truck is at the level of the floor,
Building.
the building.
That's correct.
And the height from the edge of the dock to the bottom of the pond is
4 feet.
4 feet.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
If you look at sheet S4, you can see a section cut through.
S4, okay.
I think that's it, right, Paul?
That's it. And then it shows the orifice that I have to put in there to control the water flow, because I'm putting an 18-inch pipe, but that pipe would carry too much water, so I put a 17-inch diameter orifice inside that pipe to restrict the flow to the proper
To
quantity.
the field that's out back.
So my 100-year storm calls for there to be 12.3 inches per hour of rainfall for a duration of 5 minutes. That's the peak. But over a 24-hour period is a total of 20 inches of rain. But your third-party reviewer required that I change my calculations, so they wanted me to design, instead of the 12.4, of only a 10.39 inches per hour. But even though they did that, I left my infrastructure to be able to handle the rain that I think it needs to be designed for. The other question that the third-party reviewer didn't quite understand is that the peak of the roof on the south side flows toward the south, but I'm catching that water with downspouts and at the downspouts and piping it back to the detention pond underneath the building. So I'm catching all the water on the site.
So you're running through the, under the floor back to the detent?
Correct. and I think that shows up on sheet C.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Well, they didn't catch it.
Thank you, Mr. Mallett.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion that we approve the changes to the site plan.
Site plan.
And I think you have to include the in lieu of fee in your
Yes,
amendment.
yes.
Correct.
Yes.
See there, I got all rushed in here and didn't read anything. Go back there.
I want my sidewalk money,
Very
Dr. Wall.
Yeah, the front page of the staff report.
Right here.
But a lot of
We got it
animals
at the
have a
same
good day.
Got it at the same time.
Okay.
And this is the accurate amount as of today for the,
Correct, yeah, those fees have gone up significantly with the cost of construction.
See, if they paid for it 3 years ago, they would have saved themselves some money.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the preliminary site plan application submitted by Target Properties LLC for the expansion and current warehouse use, permitted use under the current B1 General District. The property is located at 1558 North LaSalle, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas, 77868. The property affected is legally described as A0002 D. Arnold, acres 1.391, 16, parcel 20-1.
Second.
To include the fee in lieu of sidewalk.
To include the
the
fee of
20
yeah, sidewalk fee.
yeah. In the amount of $25,416.
Second.
We had a motion and a second from Dr. Walla and Commissioner Copeland. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposition.
I forgot to say aye. I'm sorry. Aye.
I heard you.
Okay.
Oh, I wrote you down his name now. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
And that brings us to consideration and possible action on the approval of the meeting minutes for the March 14th, 2024 meeting. Gosh, that was a lot of minutes.
No, I make the motion we approve the minutes as submitted. I thought they looked fine.
You weren't here.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Okay, I'll second that since
Okay.
neither one of them were here.
Okay.
Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And with that, we'll bring it to the final thing and we'll adjourn at 6:50.